Today we're going to go through the fundamental basics of videography. This will help you kickstart your videography journey. Let's go. First things first, let's understand the concept of videography. It's multiple images captured in 1 second, then played back to create a story. The industry standard to get what's called cinematic is to use 24 frames per second, or actually it's 23.976, but let's call it 24 frames per second. And that's what I recommend you to use. So every second, you have 24 images that is playing. Moving on, we need to understand our camera settings. And that's when we'll get into something called the exposure triangle. It's like the secret sauce to getting a well-exposed cinematic masterpiece. The exposure triangle consists of 3 things: your ISO, your shutter speed, and your aperture. So let's take a look how they affect your video. First, let's start with shutter speed. This tells you how long your camera shutter is open and exposed to light. And this affects also the motion blur you get in your images. But let's take it step by step. Usually what's determined cinematic is using a shutter speed that is double your frame rate. So if you're shooting in 24 frames per second, you should use a shutter speed of 1/50 or 1/48 depending on your camera. This is so you get the natural amount of motion blur in your video. A fast shutter speed like 1/1000 freezes the image and lets less light in, and you get less motion blur. A slower shutter speed like 1/10 lets more light in, and you get a more jiggery and blurry effect. Next thing, we've got your aperture. It's like your eye to your lens, controlling how much light is going through your lens into your camera. A small aperture number like f2.8 lets more light in and gives you a nice depth of field and a creamy background. But a bigger aperture number like f11 lets less light in and gives you a darker image and more in focus. Last but not least, you've got your ISO. This tells you how sensitive your camera is to light. So a lower ISO number like 100 means your camera is less sensitive to light and you get a well and clean image. But a higher ISO number like 2000 or 3000 means your camera is more sensitive to light and you start introducing grain into your image. Moving on, you've got your audio. People can often live with bad image quality but not bad audio quality. So pay attention to your audio quality. Get a good mic and pay attention to your environment. So you might be thinking, what type of mic should I get? There's different types of mic. Well, let's go through that. First things first, you got a shotgun mic. These are more kind of a directional mic that captures sound from one direction and reduces the sound from your environment. These are great for vlogging, outdoor shooting, and talking heads, because you can stick them on your camera or on a boom, whatever you like, and you're ready to go. Then we've got a lavalier mic or a lapel mic, whatever you want to call it. These are small, discreet mic you can clip on and capture great audio, but these are more omnidirectional, so you capture more sound around the mic and you'll get more sound from your environment. But the positive thing is they are easy to use and you can move freely when you're recording. These 2 are the 2 most common mics, but if you're just starting out, I'll recommend a shotgun mic and you'll be golden. Moving on to your movement. What's nice about video is that you can add movement to your videos to emphasize the feeling you want to convey to the viewer. Let's take a look at the 2 most common movements, that is pan and tilt. A pan involves your camera moving horizontally from the left to the right or right to the left. This is great when you want to follow your subject or if you want to transition from one point to another. Then you've got your tilt. This is when your camera is moving vertically from up to down or down to up. This is great when you want to reveal a tall building or a sky or transition. Try them out and see how it goes. And voila, by learning these things, you've mastered 80% of the fundamentals of videography. And if you thought this video was helpful, give it a like, subscribe, and keep creating.